Hello, 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 and welcome back to the show where I simply open up my morning Twitter for you page and go through it and react and see what's happening. So today's a busy day. I've got to try to keep it down to at least 30 minutes because I only have a 1 hour gap in my mornings to fill. So if I can do it 30 minutes and then I can do a little bit of editing, upload it for you guys, and then you can all have a laugh. But in the meantime, it looks like today's going to be a bit of an interesting one. There has been a bit of a situation occurring in Australia with defence spending and lefty fuckwits. Jesus Christ, what's going on there? Anyways, a little bit of a cleanup. I sent out a message earlier to see what you guys would like to talk about. We have a bit coming through, and yes, I've got to go with James. I've got to go with James here. This is obviously a story that happened yesterday. It is a good illustration of how the human centipede works in Australian left-wing political journalist circles, and this is just it's a little snapshot. It's a great little snapshot. It's a good way to see how this how the sausage is made in that respect. The human centipede sausage is made. Okay, let's have a quick look here. So yesterday there was a bit of a discussion. Dutton had a bit of an interview, and this is going to happen. This is going to happen the whole time that Dutton's in opposition, even when he's in government. They're going to take anything he says and flip it and twist it around and then regurgitate it ad nauseum until they think it becomes truth or fact. So what actually happened yesterday, as Dutton actually came out and said, let's have a look. Chad Terry's actually got the quote here. I just followed Chad yesterday. I just found him. He popped up on this one. Not sure where Chad's from. Let's check it. He seems a reasonable person. Okay, Aussie politics, legal cases and a current affair. Available on all podcasts. Hey, man. How are you? Anyways, let's have a look. So what Dutton actually said. It's an incredibly important program, but it needs to be sustainable. And if the cost trajectory of that is going to result in it falling over, I think the government itself has pointed out that it's not sustainable. What he's talking about is in relation to the NDIS. It's unsustainable. This is an issue at the moment that Bill Shorten's trying to ignore with Robodebt. He's trying to ignore this because it's, at the moment, NDIS is a bigger expense than the defense budget. But with AUKUS and the sub deal, the left love to carry on with this. Anyway, so that's what he actually said. But what did Paul Karp, those little freaks at the Guardian, what did they do? This is the top end of the centipede. So he twists it, and it comes out Labor's Bill Shorten accuses Peter Dutton of using AUKUS submarine plan as an excuse to back NDIS cuts. Did he? This is actually his quote here. This is the quote that Chad Terry had. It's an incredibly important program, but it needs to be sustainable. Yeah, so they're cuts. If you make a program sustainable, that's a cut. If you get rid of the waste, the double ups of cost, if you improve any efficiencies whatsoever, that's a cut. That's how it rolls. That's how they framed this, and that's how they ran with it. As Jonathan Seagal has clearly stated, and this is how it works. So, Karp writes the misleading article, and the article itself actually contains the full quote, but he still misrepresented it. That doesn't matter. The centipede must continue. So, Karp writes a misleading article. Greg Jericho, my favorite satirical account on here, Greg Jericho, he acts all outraged. Oh, I'm condemning them. And then to bring in the trifecta of retarded, we have Reminiscus, Cat Lady herself, coming in to to double it up. She rounds it all out with fighting super tax concession changes for earnings above $3 million, standing by tax-free state cuts, blah, 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 blah. But willing to cut the NDIS? Yes, he's willing to make it sustainable. This is the shit we're dealing with. This is how it trickles through, and then you will have the NPCs who see the Guardian still as some type of authority figure. There's some people out there. Anyways, great work, Jonathan. This is a great rundown. I like his work. Yeah, I'm very appreciative of that. Yeah, it's just a little sample of the way that these losers just carry on. How does this work? Anyways, I'm gonna jump into my for you tab. I hope you all join me there. I have a feeling it's just going to get worse from here, but it's going to be about subs. So if don't be surprised. Your feed's probably filled with the same shit today. Subs, and we have art students trying to discuss defense policy. This is, well over the edge here. They're over their skis. They're well over it. But so there should be some great takes today. Let's have a look. Okay, I got 105 new ones sitting there waiting. Let's see what pops up first. Okay, Glenn Edwards, no. Benadora, what do we have? Oh, Sydney Roosters. I don't like Sydney Roosters. Not too good. I'm a Cowboys fan, through and through. Cowboys first. And then second is whoever's playing Manly. Suck shit, Manly. Anyways, so awesome giraffes coming in for breakfast. I wouldn't find that awesome. Come on, I don't want animals in my. I hate having even just dogs in the same building. I don't like them just staring at you while you're eating. Okay. Yeah, okay. ICAN Australia. What's this all about? ICAN Australia. Nuclear-powered submarines and their bases would become high-priority targets for conventional and nuclear attack from adversaries. We don't need to escalate regional tensions with highly enriched uranium-powered submarines. Okay, ICAN. Are you building an alternative? Have you built an international campaign to abolish nuclear weapons? These aren't nuclear weapons. This is a nuclear power plant. Once again, the smooth brains, they're all out. We're going to have the art students running around like absolute morons. But hats off to Albo for actually, going through with the deal and dragging these people into accepting nuclear power as an option. These subs aren't solar powered. There's a reason for that. Collins class, diesel electric, basically South Australia's electrical grid. We're moving away from that. We're moving away from South Australia's electrical grid. Chris Bowen's not. He's still trying, but it's good to see them bring nuclear power to the front. Anyways, Andrew Phelan, great. I like Andrew. I got to get him on. Andrew, you got to come on sometime. I want to chat to you. He's just a wealth of knowledge about China. If you have any questions about China, this guy's got a lifetime of experience in China through its developmental years. It's great source of information. I have so much to learn from him. Anyways, where Governor Ron DeSantis is going to fall down unless he does some work on it is international affairs. It's not his strong suit. Okay, if you're a governor, not okay if you're a president. Yeah, that's true. I haven't seen much of Ron DeSantis' foreign policy. But then again, he's going in as an America First candidate. So the first priority for him is going to be Americans. It's not going to be international affairs. If anything, it's going to be, reducing America's influence overseas. Could be interesting for the subs deal. But anyways, thank you, Andrew. Basically, National Socialism, Marxism are the same from Hitler. Well, yeah, they are. You wouldn't really look at it. You shouldn't really look at. This is just a quick side. You shouldn't really look at Nazism or fascism and communism as two competing ideologies. They're actually just different strands of the same ideology, and that ideology is progressivism. The Nazis were ultra progressive. They were super progressives. Hitler himself was a vegetarian. They had huge environmental programs going. Their environmental program stretched all the way to the actual German people, the Volk. It actually stretched to the German people, and their main key was to preserve the environment for the German people. So to preserve the environment and to remove it of all toxins and pollutants, they had to cleanse it. It had to be cleaned. They were just ultra progressives, and well, the communists are as well. They all have their utopian vision of the future. That's what they're progressing towards. It's totalitarianism. It's the same thing. They're the same thing. They're just in a different stream. They're just giving themselves different names. That's all. Yeah, Hitler was a socialist. He was a Marxist as well. just read. Just read some books. Don't go to Australian universities and expect them to discuss this with you. Have a look for yourself. Go through it. Anyways, let's continue. Let's see. Oh, Cos. Okay, this guy is freaking gold, Cos. Okay, so I don't know where Labor get these people from. Like, there's a factory somewhere, and they're just cranking them out. They're just these NPCs. They just crank these people out, and it's just all. They're all just the same. It's like this slight low level of academia. There's a slight little bit of intellect, just covering, just sort of covering the retardedness. It's just dumb. And so they cover. Okay, let's see. Victorian Liberals have come bolting out of the gate, tackling their lack of support amongst millennials and Gen Z by opposing housing developments. The ones who okay, yeah, that's fine. Cool, Cos. Great. Okay, so let's remove the environmental protections, and let's have a look at the planning codes. Let's. Who do you think is going to oppose increased development in the inner cities? Who's going to oppose that? Do you think it's going to be Liberals, or do you think it's going to be the Karens? Karens like Cos. Cos doesn't think like that. He doesn't think too far. They just produced. They're out of a factory. They're just basic units. That's all. They don't really have much to go. Speaking of basic units, look, here's Stephen Miles. Speaking of basic, Jesus Christ. Oh my God, the LNP have learned nothing. Queensland's assets aren't safe in their hands. This is coming from the government. Oh, here we go. Scott straight on the ball. Yeah, this is coming from the government who's sold off all these assets. What have they sold off? Well, Queensland Motorways, Abbott Point Port, QR National, Port of Brisbane, Forestry Plantations, Cairns Mackay Airport, blah, blah, blah. The list goes on. These are the things they've sold. This is no news. But once again, it's just a simple unit. That's it. It's like the base model. You're getting the base model coming in here. It's not anything flash. There's no additional extras. It's just the base model. You might be able to tweak it around the edges, but, it's like putting a spoiler on a Fiesta. It's not going to make it go faster. It's just going to change the look of it a little bit. Anyways, Nick Holt back in here. Many Australians don't know that the Chinese Communist Party owned electricity company called State Grid owns 46% of South Australia's electricity network. Yeah, well, they just bought a Collins class. That's what they've got. That's the electricity network in South Australia. It's a fucking Collins class. Diesel powered, running on battery backup. That's what they've bought. Congratulations, China. You've owned a basket case. That's what they bought. They just cut the interconnectors. Just destroy the interconnectors and just let them fend for themselves. Let the grid stand on their own. Nationalizing the grid like this was a bad idea. It was a really bad idea, because then you're at the whims of the lowest common denominator. They're the ones that are going to drag you down. And South Australians, it's yeah. Anyways, Marine Faruqi. Okay, speaking of racists, imagine spending $368 billion on military submarines during a cost of living crisis when people are struggling to pay rent and put food on the table. Yeah, let's cut their taxes, Marine. You'd support that. Let's cut taxes. All these people, let's give them a tax cut. Let's bring, let's take the tax-free threshold up to 50,000. How about that? That'd work, wouldn't it? But we're going to have to cut some programs. We're going to have to go in there. We're going to have to find efficiencies in the NDIS. And those are cuts to you. Kind of sucks, hey? Efficiencies. 368 billion. I believe that this is over 30 years, I think. So it is a lot. It's a lot of money. I don't think, there's a right to criticize this, but criticizing it from this demented left-wing perspective, that's where the fun is. That's when we know you're not serious. It's your grab bag of things. We could spend 368 billion on all this shit, and you'd still come back wanting 368 billion more for the same things, because there's going to be no efficiency involved at all, because that's fucking guts. Anyways, yeah, but we can be guaranteed that in such a complex discussion with so many complex issues going on, we can rest assured that our media class, our journalists are the best in the world. Don't you agree? Don't you agree? They're the most capable people to cover this. They're the most capable we've ever had. You know, Paul Karp, get in there. Oh, jeez. Let's go on. Andrew Phelan still going on. Yeah. Okay. ABC. Okay. South Korea is proposing a 69-hour work week. I like that number. Chris, you love this number. I swear you're working in the South Korean government there somewhere, but for 69 hours, how did they come up with that? Does this compare to other Asian countries? Australians work a lot. We do. Australians are very productive. We're just overtaxed. That's the problem. We don't need extra time off. We don't need anything like that. We don't need extra pay. No. We need to cut the taxes. We need to cut costs. There's two elements here. There's spending and there's costs. What's the point in giving everyone a pay rise if you're just going to tax them more? If you're going to increase the taxes, if their electricity bills are going to go up 20% in 1 year, well, like, what's the point? We need to cut costs. We need to focus on that. The wages will look after themselves. Let's go on. New South Wales Treasurer Matt Keane says only a coalition government. He's not a Liberal. Matt Keane's not a Liberal. Can we look? I really don't want Labor to win in New South Wales, but at the same time, I kind of want them to win. Chris Minns is too short, by the way, to be Premier. But I want them to. I want the Liberals to lose. So just Matt Keane. I just want Matt Keane to lose. That's it. Matt Keane and all the moderates need to get the fuck out of the party. They need to start their own party, or the people in the Liberal Party, they need to get out. You know, one way or another. You cannot have this relationship continuing. This is an abusive relationship. We don't see eye to eye with these people. They're in a different world. They're more comfortable at a Greens rally than they are at an actual small business convention. You know, they don't belong in the party anymore, and the only way to get rid of them is, for them to lose. That's it. It's a shame, but you know, New South Wales Libs, you know, those inner city, that's not the future for the party. That's not. That's really not. Anyways, let's have a look. Cheap solar. There's no such thing as cheap solar. An Aussie woman is considering never renting her home again after she discovered the stomach-churning destruction inside her property after a tenant fled. Yeah, it's just shitty people. Just shitty people. If anything, you just need a blacklist. We need a proper blacklist, right? And the pedo one as well. We need a pedo blacklist. I think that would work. Blacklist for terrible tenants. They might already have one, actually. I'm sure the Greens oppose it because, you know, they're probably all Greens voters. To save the welfare standards of kangaroos, the Labor government needs to save this important industry. Is this about kangaroo leather? Yeah, that's a shame. Why? You know, kangaroos, we've got enough of them. They're not endangered, and their leather is great, you know. But this is more of a heavy drive from the vegan, you know, no animal products at all. Not even eggs. They consider eggs to be fucking egg rape or something like that. Chicken rape. Weirdos. Okay, the shovel. Wow, we're gonna have a cutting edge fucking thought piece here. Jesus Christ. And it's not even funny, you know. Like it's like ABC comedy. Like there's nothing sadder than a government funded comedian. Like really, and the shovel. Wow, it's like an offshoot. Congratulations. Okay, Australia has cancelled its $368 billion sub purchase after someone realized it would be cheaper to just give China $300 billion, not to invade us. Next. Okay, there isn't a commercial industry scale CCS plant anywhere in the world, but go off, I guess. Yeah, there isn't anywhere in the world that's running on renewables. There isn't a first world country that's running on renewables that's converted. There isn't a first world country anywhere in the world that's got battery storage as the main firming power supply. Nowhere, Tim. Nowhere. But you wouldn't support. Yeah. Art students don't. Is Tim even an art student? I guarantee he probably is. Ex-union boss. Well, there we fucking go. Gemma Tognini. I like Gemma. Gemma's great. Look at her. This looks like surf hair, actually. It looks like you've been surfing, Gemma. Look good. Ooh, yeah. Okay, Q&A. Speaking of the art students, Jesus Christ, here we go. This Q&A is basically, you know, you have the weekly human centipede of like Guardian, ABC, like feeding each other coming out. Q&A is basically the end of the week wrap up of that. It's basically the last in line, and then it's whatever's being produced through that week of the centipede at work gets dumped out onto the crowd at Q&A. That's basically how it works. There is this sense that you need to be impartial, but when there's a power imbalance, there's a clear victim. Sometimes it needs to be. No, sorry, your Marxism doesn't work. You can't just apply this and expect us to all agree to it. Your oppression, your games of oppression don't work anymore. Sorry, they don't work. Anyways, guys, I got to keep this quick. We got to get it down to 30 minutes. How long have we been going now? I think like 15 minutes or something. Anyways, let's have a look. Charles Haig. Yeah, what's with dudes playing women's sports? Really, like, how does this become a thing? You know, once again, soft, weak men. Just tell them to fuck off. You know, no. You go play with the men. You know, I don't care. I don't care if you transitioned yesterday. I don't care. You're a man. You know, let's just stick with reality. James Lindsay explaining that she needs to go ahead and calm down. I think that's great. This is what we should be replying to Amy Reminiscus and people like that. Just tell them to calm down. Just say, look, Amy, calm down. Just calm down. It'll be all right. You know, give your dad a call. Give your dad a call. He misses you. Come on. Josh, oh fuck, here we go. Here we go. This is going to be the hot takes of the day. Here we go. Joshua Bridge. Oh no. Oh fuck. We have the pronouns in the bio. This is going to be a hot take of hot takes. Oh Jesus Christ. Okay, so there's no room in the budget for raising job seeker above poverty payments, but there's hundreds of billions for nuclear submarines. Real party of the working class. Yeah, well, fuck, they're going to eat themselves here, aren't they? But once again, there's no room in the budget for raising job seeker. That's fine. Okay, we don't need to raise job seeker. It's just that everything else is more expensive now. So we need to reduce costs. Job seeker is sufficient. It's sufficient there. The things that people are getting worried about is that it doesn't cover the rising cost. We need to reduce their costs. What's a big cost for a household? Electricity. Electricity is a huge cost. Electricity, gas, heating, especially if you live in the colder climates. That's a big cost. What about beer, alcohol, food? Why is there GST on any food products? Remove it all. You know, that's an easy way to save money. That's an easy way to reduce costs. Sure, it's going to hit the budget, but that money is going to be recirculated. It's going to get people, it's better. But once again, we're on the NPC wagon of doom here. Okay, so that's a good one. So what have we got? Okay, so first far we got don't buy the subs, increase job seeker. Genius. Australians for a Murdoch Royal Commission. Well, you know, Albo ruled out in the election campaign there'd ever be one, so it's basically this is just a grift now. This is like mad fucking witches grift. This is just, this is just a grift. 10 Grant. Okay, how dark is he getting? Do you think like, like I mentioned the other day, OLED's going to be hard to keep up with the darkness that that Stan's going for. There's going to be no OLED that can actually like portray the darkness properly. They're going to have to reinvent the whole TV. Stan, it's just as the Road Knight says, it never fucking ends, does it? It doesn't, because that's his jive. That's his gig. The gig here is to just call everything racist until you have control of it. It's just that's the thing. There's no downside here for Stan to even not get tanned. There's no downside here for him. He will just keep calling things racist, and there's going to be a whole industry set up for him to do that. He profits from that. That's the whole gig. It's just so like not one-sided. It's just tunnel vision. It's just dumb. It's just really base level. And as James Newbury says, he's using bronzer. He has to be. Exactly. He has to be. No one can get this tanned. I've seen some bad German tans before. You know, they go to Mallorca for 3 weeks and they come back and it looks bad, but it's not as bad as tan. Oh, sorry, I just naturally call him Tan Grant now. I think everyone should change his name. Should change his name. What does tan translate to in an indigenous language? Does anyone know? I wonder if that's in Bruce Pascoe's book. Did they? Anyways, Maskmon. Jonathan Livingston Seagal. Yeah, back. I already commented on this. Yeah, where's her mask? Come on, Mon. Where's your mask? Where's your mask? Come on, put your mask on. Fucking retard. I use that word too much. I gotta stop. I gotta change a lot of my words around. You know, I overuse something. What's a good word? It's hard. I'll try to think of one. If you got any good words for these type of people, slightly learning incapacitated, just send them through for me. I can't keep up. You know, TARD just works so well. Trans women are women. No, they're not. They're trans women. Sorry. You just say it. Like, they're like, trans women are women. No, they're not. They're not. Oh, my God. Correct. Shame. Peter Hitchens. Yeah. Okay, I'm over that. I want more hot takes on the subs. Oh, here we go. The sickening part about this, appalling. It's appalling now. It's appalling. Oh my God. Here's out. Paul Harp, get this man on the phone. Get his quote in there, and then fuck with it as well. But put it in a good light. Come on. Charles Harvey. The sickening part about the appalling AUKUS agreement is that a major party politician from elbow down and the mainstream media in general think it's a great achievement. In my view, it is the greatest failure of governance and foreign policy in our history. Jesus Christ. Southwest Slopes crazy. Are passionate about merino industry. Yeah, I like merino. It's good stuff. Concerned with the debasement of politics and Australia's lack of climate change policy. Okay, do you want to see the biggest failure of governance? You know, have you ever seen our desal plants? You know what they were based on? They were based on fucking climate change. You know, how did that work out? We've got desal plants sitting everywhere. How many, wasn't there the wave generator in Western Australia? And how many other, the hot rocks in South Australia? How many other failed climate policies do we need for you just to stop? Just stop, you know? Anyways, let's continue. Oh, here we go. My favorite account. Here we go. Greg. This is the best. This is the content I'm here for in the mornings. Greg Jericho. At its peak, in 20 to 30 years' time, yeah, this is the cunt fucking panicking over the world increasing in temperature by 0.3 degrees over 40 years. 0.3 degrees. 0.3 of 1 degree. And he's in a panic. But, you know, 20 to 30 years' time on. But the world's going to end in 2030, remember? Okay, so jobs. Yeah, he's after the jobs. Let's import solar panels from China instead, Greg. That'd be good, wouldn't it? You know, we can put all that into that. Oh my God, he's going to be filled with some great takes. It's not really Greg. Like, I know he's not serious, and you know he can't really be that dumb. But it's the people that like just repeat it. They like latch onto it and just simp through it. It's just NPC behavior, total NPC behavior. Here we go. Sarah Ferguson from such, you might remember her from such shows as How Russia Stole the Election. Jesus Christ. How is she still there? Why do the ABC presenters all have like this fake Brit? It's not fake. It's like this half British weird accent. It's like they deliberately send them over to England. So they pick up this weird accent and then they bring them back and then they sort of like mix in with like the teal crowd. Is that how the teal ladies talk? Like, it's just cosmetic. It's just a cosmetic academia look, I guess. Anyways, the Americans wanted to see a bipartisan position. To the credit of Mr. Albanese and Richard Marles, they supported the AUKUS deal. Yeah, Labor's supporting nuclear power now. That's a big thing. That's a Dutton and a Morrison achievement. The rest of their time it was terrible, but they managed to get Labor to accept nuclear power. That's the biggest thing here. And that's what's breaking a lot of brains as well, is that they've got to accept it. Down to Q&A, which is the end of the Human Centipede once again. There was this girl in the crowd. This girl here was actually a Greens member. She's just a plant. Like, why does anyone watch Q&A anymore? It's just comedy. It's like I can't even. I'm not going there. I'm almost getting to my 30-minute mark, so let's just keep it going. The illegal migration bill is poisonous and reformative. No bill's illegal. You can't have a legal bill. It's not illegal to have a bill. Ah, Jesus. Okay, let's not call them illegal migration. Let's call them criminal migrants. From now on, just criminal migrants. Um, can someone explain how nuclear submarines are a great idea to build while nuclear power plants are so bad? Exactly, Avi. But this is the first step. This is just the first step. You have to break their little fragile selves. Yeah. They need enough people in their circle to be saying the same thing before the reprogramming can take place, before it makes sense for them. Um, but they'll get there. This is the first step. Just the first step. Nuclear energy is either safe or it's not. It's ridiculously safe. It's really, really safe, and it's Australia's future. Denying it is just denying reality. It's really, at this point, they'd be on the wrong side of history. I said every loser ever. Okay. Cold hard facts are irrefutable. Yeah, that's true. Sam Connor update. Yeah, that's just madness. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is. How much could we save in the budget? Actually, if we're talking about budget savings, how much of the bureaucracy has diversity, equity, and inclusion policies already embedded in it that do nothing? And why is that included throughout? Oh, yeah, 3 levels of government, like I said yesterday: local, state, and federal. How much of that shit's just these diversity and equity things? Like, how much of it? I'm sure there's a lot in there. There's a lot of bloat. And most of it's just basically finding jobs for otherwise unemployable, like, art students. You got these people graduating in some type of study. And you got to put them in a job somewhere. Leo, tough choices for voters. Should they vote Larissa Penn or Penn Larissa? Well, it's pretty lame. Okay. Well, that ain't gonna be any good now, is it? Ooh, that actually looks good, Daddy Warpig. What's going on here? Can I get into this? Oh, here we go. So what do they do? He's got the fire extinguisher. Oh, it's off. That's cool. Okay. Margot Robbie. Okay, we at the ABC have carefully curated the story for race. Yeah, ABC's got nothing but race. They're so racist. Everyone remember The Voice? While I'm here, I gotta say it every day. Remember The Voice? Genius. Okay. Biological man. Stop. Okay. Here we go, Andrew Phelan. AUKUS yesterday was a great and historic day for Australia. The submarine plan is going to be a huge challenge, but I know we're up for it. We're all Australians, so let's get behind and protect it. Yeah, I think we need to develop a nuclear industry in Australia. We could really lead the way here. If we could just get this, get the TARDs away from the electricity grid, get some strong, cheap, reliable energy in there, and then we can focus on manufacturing. We can focus on agriculture. We can focus on actually being the power that people look towards. We have a huge century ahead of us, and you got Greg Jericho worried about 0.3 degrees of warming. Yeah, we got to get those things sorted out. We got to get these retards out of the system. You just ignore them. And smash the centipede, like this human centipede that goes on. Oh, Melissa's back. Okay, so here we go. Instead of providing free school lunches, we could provide parents with enough money to feed their kids, or we could just cut their costs. Everything she's mentioning here, we could just give them enough money to feed their kids. Where does that money come from, Melissa? Where? It comes from taxes, increasing taxes. Say everyone's got to pay more, so you can give money to kids because they can't afford it. So people have to pay more for lunches because they can't afford lunches. Dumb. It's it hurts. It hurts me, people. Anyways, I'm almost there. I think I've been going for 30 minutes now. I'm not too sure exactly. Maybe I can just actually check. Maybe I have the capacity to figure that out. No, I don't actually. Oh, 34 minutes. Jesus Christ, I'm my overtime, people. I'm going to get ready for the day. I've got to go for a run still. Anyways, last one. Oh, we're going to have the geniuses at work at the old school ABC boomers. Peter Christopher Hitchens, conservative brother, sets the record straight. Christopher Hitchens died in neocon. just so you're aware, his final form was neocon. Philip Adams doesn't accept that because he's stuck. Anyways, Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. Oh no, Florian, no. Britain makes history. Oh, here we go. One of my favorites to follow is Benny Beats. This guy's great with Australian energy and electricity markets. He's good. He's got his finger on the pulse of everything. He's not blinded by ideology, just reality. Really. So what's he in? The UN is projecting if it thinks it will be allowed to dictate domestic policy in Australia. Exactly. Who is Antonio Guterres? Or this guy's he's a failed Portuguese politician. He's a communist from Portugal. Failed. His party won one election and then they were kicked out the next year or something like that. And then where did he go? He ended up at the UN. Ends up the UN just pushing this shit. I think he went to the Refugees Commission in the UN, and then they go through. No one votes for these people. No one votes for them at all. No one in Australia, no one down at your local RSL voted for this cunt. No one. You've got to get them out of there. They don't represent us. They're representing their own little group of elites and all the corporate interests that come in. We got to get out of these organizations. They're not good for us. They don't represent the people. They don't represent a bright future. It's just a leech. They're just a parasite on us, and it's crushing people. We need to get rid of these. Get rid of them. Anyways, Benny Beats, Betts. How do you even say his name? Anyways, Energy Rap AU. That's his handle. So jump on it. He's a great guy. He's a great guy to follow. In the meantime, Jill. Sorry, I could go on, but I've got to finish up. It's been 30 minutes now. So, quick wrap up. The subs. The subs are bad because we could spend the money on vegan sausages instead. That's my hot take. No, subs are a great deal. It's going to be good. The only thing I don't get with the subs is that why do they have to be built in South Australia to start with? I think we're better off starting a local nuclear industry first and building up that user base. But just get away from this idea that we have to build ships in Australia, like especially subs. We can build ships, just maybe not like the most technically advanced machines on the planet. South Australia is good for, Collins class. It's a Collins class economy for a Collins class world. It's not an AUKUS world. Anyways, guys, get out there today, have a run, go for a walk, get healthy, be healthy. I got to go for a run now. I know it's blowing a gale, it's grey, it's cold, it's damp, but I got to do it anyways. We got to do this. No one else is going to do it for you. So, have fun. I hope you enjoy. I'll see you on Twitter or I'll see you around. Peace.